So, for some reason, well, I know the reason, we weren't taught it in school. Everyone seems to think that the world's problems can be solved by X, Y, and Z politician. Oh, we're going to elect this person, they're going to do this. We're going to elect this person, they're going to do that. Yet, year after year, the price of groceries goes up dramatically. My hand is shaking, I just lifted weights. I need to chill out. But point being, this happens year after year, and the debt keeps getting bigger with the governments. The whole government as a whole has massive debt. Now, here's the thing. Electing different politicians, hoping that they're going to change things, is the same thing as electing different prison guards and hoping that it's going to reform the prison. Point being, the system's fucked. And this is basically my explanation on how I would explain to somebody very simply. The root issue, it's not all these bullshit things, all these social causes. The problem is broken money. Now, I'm writing with this in my book. If you're checking in 2025 or early, maybe like January 2026, it might not be out, but subscribe to the channel if you want to be added to a list to get the book, and I'll remind you, and get it for $1 when it comes out. Just drop a comment, drop your email address, follow me on Instagram, it's in the description, and just let me know. The book's going to explain all this in very good detail in a very entertaining way, but let me explain it briefly right now. So here's how money works. The broken money, the root to all of our suffering. The way the economy should work is if you have 10 apples and you have $10, all the things in the economy, in the world, in the ecosystem, has to buy up, all the dollars have to buy up all the things. So if you have $10 and 10 apples, that means divided up, each apple costs $1. This is because every dollar must buy everything. So you're on an island with apples and dollars, that's what'll happen. Now, as technology advances, technology is naturally deflationary. This means it will decrease prices through increasing productivity. Put simply, we get better at making things, therefore they should cost less. The reason for this is if you have $10 and you have 10 apples, but then the next year you get technological booms, we get the Industrial Revolution, we get all this bullshit for apples apparently. If you get technological advancements, next year maybe you have 20 apples, but you still only have $10. Therefore, since we get better at making things, the price of apples has gone down. Because we have 20 apples and only $10, each apple now only costs 50 cents. Does that make sense? Because we doubled the supply of apples, but the amount of money stays the same. Therefore, the price cuts in half. If the next year we have crazy advancements, we have 100 apples now and still only $10, each apple only costs 10 cents. And this keeps on going. That's how money should work. And that's how it happened in like the late 1800s. Like there was a point when I think around 1880, a suit cost like $20. And because we're on the gold standard, you only mine gold so fast, so you couldn't really increase the money supply. So put simply, we got a pile of deflation because we got all these technology or machinery advancements. And what happened was, like 10 years from then, the price of the same suit would be like $10 instead of 20. Point being, everything got cheaper year after year. So why is it that in our society right now, prices keep rising? You elect different politicians, and for some reason, the price of goods keeps going up. You go to buy a steak in 2020 or 2015 or 2010. It's cheaper year after year looking back. For us now, it keeps getting more expensive. You look back in 1980, you get like $20 and buys you a full cart full of groceries. $20 in 2010 buys you half a cart. $20 now will get you like a bar of soap and a cookie if you're lucky. Like, you can't get shit with $20. So here's why. The government printed more money. They have massive debt. They can't do anything with it. It's ironic because the governments are like, and banks are like, you need to manage your budget, blah blah blah. And meanwhile, the government's in like the U.S. government has like $38 trillion worth of debt that they can never pay back, but that's fun. So they keep printing more money to pay back the debt they owe, which causes more debt, and it's an endless cycle. And point being, back to the apple example, if you have 10 apples, $10, each apple costs $1. Now, if you increase productivity through technology and you get to 20 apples, the government won't let deflation happen because deflation causes the Great Depression. It crashes the entire system. Therefore, they'll print money. They'll print a fuck ton of money. They'll print more money to cause inflation. So what happens, you have 20 apples, the government prints $30. Now the system has 40 apples, $40 and 20 apples. This means every apple now costs $2. Then apples increases to 100. We have 100 apples in the economy because we have AI and robots and a fuck ton of technological advancements. Government can't allow that. They'll print a fuck ton of money, get to $200 in the money supply. Every apple keeps going up in price because the government keeps printing money faster than we can create goods. This is done on purpose. They can never allow deflation because deflation crashes the system. I don't know if this makes sense or not, but point being, government print money, cost of goods go up, and year after year, the people who hold assets, people who have things, they get richer. People who work salary jobs, they get poorer. It's a complete wealth transfer. It takes energy from the working class and gives it to the asset holders. That's basically economics 101. You can go into all this bullshit. Hey, we need inflation to cure animal spirits and all this bullshit. Keynesian economics. But realistically, this is how money works. It's not that fucking complicated. It's not rocket science. A 6-year-old could understand it if you explained it. But for some reason, everyone thinks you need a degree because apparently a degree means that you're smart. I like to think the overeducated middle class is so open-minded their brains fell out, but, you know, who am I to judge? So point being, the system's fucked. It's going to collapse. Every government has massive debt that they can never repay. Therefore, they need to print money. They print money. That, like, every single fiat currency in history has collapsed. This isn't like some weird conspiracy theory. This is something it's just math, and it's something that's happened. It's happened in New Zealand, not New Zealand, Venezuela. It happened in New Zealand. I'm not really sure. Happened in Venezuela. Happened in Weimar, Germany. Very popular example. It's happening in major countries right now. It's happening, in my opinion, in Canada and the US. It might take a little longer, but all of these currencies are collapsing. The same, like, this has happened throughout history. This is not new, but because we're born into this system that was functioning fine, this is probably seen as a conspiracy theory. It's just math. So, hope all this makes sense. It's a quick ramble after a gym session. If you want to learn more about this, again, I'm writing a book on it, putting it out soon. It's going to be up for $1 initially, so if you want to grab that, check the description if you're from the future. But if it's not there, message me on Instagram and be like, hey, I want to be put on the list of people who wants to remind them when the book's out for $1. And yeah, I'll hook you up. Anyways, hope this helps. Have a good one, boys.